Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Black History edition of DVTV presented by Dallas Voice, your premier media source for LGBT Texas. Tonight, we're here at the Vogue Academy in Dallas, Texas, highlighting and celebrating Black excellence in family, art, and love. Before we take you inside, let me tell you a story. But right now, close your eyes. The art of dance has been a part of the African history since the beginning of time. The freedom of movement in this culture has been used to express the highs and lows of life, such as love, life, happiness, sadness, birth, and even death. Dance can be considered as a hidden language of the heart. Today, this very same expression is still happening within our LGBTQ community to uplift, congregate, heal, and elevate this culture. Now, this may not be your story, but this is a story of so many amazing souls who have the courage to dance the dance of freedom.
If you want to get your life, honey, you're going to come to Vogue Academy. UB is where it's at for a Friday night in DFW. So voguing is just one part of this whole subculture, which is ballroom culture, that developed in, really throughout the last century, starting off with like drag balls, and it just like evolved. But it became this almost counterculture for young Black and brown people, especially during the height of the AIDS and HIV epidemic in the 80s and early 90s, where we were able to find safety and community amongst each other, and fame and notoriety. And it was a place where you could literally invent who you wanted to be. And then you're able to take that newfound confidence that you have and take it into the rest of the world. Well, understanding our history and understanding, we weren't going to try and recreate the wheel. We had community members that were interested in the Kiki scene, which is ballroom, but for the younger generations. And so we had someone that's legendary in the community, the legend, the icon, J-Rock, and he got together with UV staff and created an opportunity where community members could come and learn all about voguing.
Hello, Dallas. We're live here at the Vogue Academy here in Dallas, Texas, with two amazing souls from the Vogue Academy. Guys, can you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about you?
Hello, my name is Lunari O'Navy. I'm kind of new to voguing, and I feel like here's a great place to start.
My name is Tyler, or Narcotics. That's my ballroom name. I'm a 007 in both mainstream and Kiki as of right now.
Hi, my name is Infinity Nike Ebony. I'm 20 years old. I'm currently a college student studying criminal justice. And in ballroom, I walk runway and new performance.
Hi everyone, my name is Two Piece Nike Ebony. I'm originally from Louisiana. I'm 20 years old and I serve as a part-time soldier in Louisiana Army National Guard.
What category are you in?
I walk realness, schoolboy realness, and I walk performance.
Okay, my name is Chloe Von Dutch in Lux. I am a mainstream mother and a Kiki mother. I am 28 years old. I've been in ballroom since 2013, and I'm a Dallas native.
Hello, I am up-and-coming legend Chanel 007. I'm from Fort Worth, Texas. I've been voguing for about 7 years going on. And yeah, I like to have fun.
Hi y'all, my name is AJ Nike. I've been in ballroom for a year now. I walk All-American and new performance. And ballroom is just an outlet for me, therapy session. So I'm gonna keep it going.
Hey guys, I am Deshawn, but I go by Dunks, the legendary Dunks Nike in the Kiki scene, and Deshawn Demir de Versailles in the mainstream. I am legendary for runway. I'm one of the leaders here on the scene, and I've been in ballroom for a little over 10 years. And my goal right now is actually to just become legendary in mainstream. I am up and coming legend in mainstream for all things fashion, and just to kind of make sure I'm a driving force for the youth nowadays. So yes.
Yes, I am Devin Nike, Demir Versailles on the mainstream scene. So I've been in my ballroom for about 5 years now. I've only been in it for maybe 1.5 to about two. So I mean, it's fun. It's definitely a creative outlet. Just enjoy myself, and express however I want to express.
Well, I'm Nomi. I am the Triple D Princess, and that's that on that. I'm happy to be here tonight.
Hi, my name is Trixie. Pretty much half of what I am, so it's like Trixette, Jet Tixie, usually Jet, but I'm a part of the House of Juicy and Kiki scene, a part of the House of Bassiat and mainstream. Here we come to Vogue Academy, but I'm sorry I have so much energy. I'm just ready to Vogue.
See, he's ready to Vogue. Question for you. How do you describe yourself and what you do when you hit that floor in one word?
A bad bitch. That's one word.
I love that.
A Caucasian white lady.
Love it.
Fearless because when I practice and when I'm like Vogue related, outside of being there on the floor actually performing, I really be really scared to go out there for some reason. I'm really nervous because I'm scared, what if I don't look right? But as soon as the music cuts on, I'm always just gonna go to the floor because I have to. It's just in me at that point.
You're fearless.
I'm fearless.
It would be fat because I feel like when I step on the floor, it's a complete opposite of who I am in real life, who I have to portray in real life. When I'm on the floor, it's kind of like I have this persona where it feels like it's my floor. Like I'm voguing, but you voguing beside me. This is my floor. You just voguing beside me. You not really here. This is my show. That's how I feel when I vogue.
Okay, really quick. What is your favorite Vogue element and why?
I would say is the dips, because it don't matter what you do to get into your dip. I feel like, I always hit my dips on count. I don't know about everybody else. So what you do before that moment and everybody is in agreement with Shawam, that's my favorite element.
So when you said dip, you mean when you hit the floor?
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Whether you're from the air or already low and you just stretch out.
Okay.
Yep.
For me, it would have to be the catwalk, because I feel like it's kind of always the beginning of letting the people know who you are, what you came to do, and how you feel. So, I mean, when I catwalk, I feel like it just takes me to another place, because I get to get into my pretend mode or just get into another aspect of who I am and just give it.
Okay, so it would be tough between catwalk and floor performance, because I really just feel my inner woman, and I could just be like sexy with it, but I'll have to pick catwalk. I love catwalk.
I have to go with my sister on that one as well. My favorite element is catwalk. I mean, usually catwalk is at the beginning of the performance. That's your wow factor, like, ooh, they can really do this. He really doing that. So that's why I really like catwalk.
Well, I'm not a performance girl, but my favorite performance to see, because I don't attempt it, is definitely I like dips, and I like when they slam their back on the ground. What do they call that? Hard. Yeah.
think I've been dancing for about, 4 minutes?
So I'm probably going to tell my age. But, no, it's okay. I have a different journey with ballroom because I'm originally from New Orleans, so we had nothing there was no, ballroom was up north in Atlanta only. It wasn't even a thing here in the South yet. So we actually discovered these tapes. We met people that used to come to New Orleans to visit, and they were actually part of the scene. I used to be an HIV prevention specialist, so I traveled when I was 19. And my first ball that I actually went to was it was at a organization, but they usually have a ball or a ballroom night, and they had the function going on, and it was just the energy, the competitiveness. If you think I don't know if they've ever thought about it, but everybody in ballroom, no matter what, is either some type is in love with some type of art form. So it's either dance, art, music, creativity, communication, anything. And if you ask literally probably globally, they have some kind of passion for art, or a passion for art or fashion or music or something like that. So it that's, if you think about it, that's what probably leads them to keep going. And so for me, that's what it was. I'm already competitive. I love, already knew how to dance and things like that. So it was like, oh, this is it. Like, yeah, I was like, oh, like this is like the next, yeah. I'm like, oh, this is the next big thing. And then so I'm actually, like, I feel good because I was part of like the first wave that actually even brought it here to the South. So like thinking about it, actually, I'm a historian. Oh, like right.
I heard you said when you were doing the catwalk, you feel your inner woman coming out, and I heard freedom. So is it safe to say that when you're doing that, you're in such a free place, just to be free to be free?
Definitely.
Free
They tell
to
you
be free.
They tell you whenever you Vogue, you're supposed to summon that other character that you want to be whenever you Vogue. So right now I'm sitting here, I'm probably just regular old Lamondre Capers, but when I get out there and Vogue, I'm two-piece. Like, I'm a woman, I got big boobs, a big butt, I got all this hair, and that's how I feel when I Vogue. So that's definitely, my expression of how it feels when I Vogue.
Voguing for me, it was really an outlet. At the time that I started voguing, I was going through a lot, and so I wasn't really able to express myself growing up because I was closeted most of my life. I really just came out 2 years ago. So when I found Vogue was really a way for me to express myself, to be all that I wanted to be and more, It was really like it was an outlet for me.
I guess I would want people to always remember just stay in your truth, because it's hard to get to a point where you accept yourself without worrying about what other people think. So I think for me, getting to that point, I always want to inspire other people, if possible, just to be you. You don't have to be accepted by other people, but as long as you're accepted by yourself, honestly, it'll show on you. It'll be a shine. So I just want to keep truth. Just always know who you are.
Well, guys, thank you so much, and thank you for your contribution to this community. Thank you for sharing this art form, the love of it, providing a safe space and safe place for any and everybody who may be suffering from being shy, their confidence, their whatever it is. I feel your love for each other, love for what you do, and love for the younger LGBTQ constituents that's coming out and don't know where they belong. Right. A lot of us don't know where we belong when we first come out. So they're looking for pathways and spaces to really just express themselves and be their authentic self every day. And you guys know that's a struggle sometimes, for us in this community. So I'm glad you guys are beacon light for it. You are who you are, unapologetically, and I love it. I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I started ballroom back in 2008. Okay. 2008 with the mainstream ballroom, which is what a lot of people know about, the 50-year ballroom. Started in 2008. That's where I started my journey with ballroom. Being in the United States Navy on active duty, living the hetero norm behind the don't ask, don't tell, and stuff like that. So you could not really be yourself. And then when I found ballroom through Hurricane Katrina, a lot of my gay kids that went to Atlanta, went to Houston, they came back and they were showing me all these videos and everything, and I'm like, what is this, And when I seen one of the guys on the video, I remembered him from the Apollo. Yeah. His name was Andre Mizrahi, and I remembered him from the Apollo when he stood on his head and he was doing the little things with his, and I was like, that's the guy from the Apollo, and it was like, it's a culture, it's a scene. So I started, looking more into it. That was back in 2005, 2006. Once I transferred back home, went on recruiting duty, back here in Dallas, Shamar Garcon, which was Shamar Revlon at the time, he's one of our prevalent, our voices, in the gay scene, the club scene, MC. He started wanting to host balls here, and I was like, that's my chance. And y'all probably met DJ DMV or Deshaun DMV. Yes. That's my son. Okay. That's my son outside of ballroom, all the way through before, during, and after Hurricane Katrina. He was an Ebony first. So it was him that introduced me to the Ebonies. Him and my other kids that were Ebonies. And I started walking Butch Queen European Runway, and I was like, you know what? This is the gayest I can be. Yeah. I wanted to let it all, let it all hang out, because you gotta be a certain way in the military. All my shipmates, I was on an all-male ship, everything, I had to be a certain way. Yeah. And so this was my chance to just be let loose and just be me, right? Yeah. So I walked Butch Queen European Runway, After I watched Between European Runway, I ended up walking Vogue. I started voguing and walking realness.
Okay.
Realness, being able to pass amongst society without people saying, is he gay? Is he? And since I was in the military and nobody ever asked me, I felt like, well, maybe I can pass. So then I started walking executive realness and winning, realness with a twist and winning. One of the commentators, Selvin Mizrahi, used to come down and commentate for us.
Okay.
And Jack, Gorgeous Gucci Mizrahi, he came down commentating for us, and they used to pass me the mic. And so since I knew all the kids, and then sometimes when they couldn't make it, I would have to get on the microphone. So when I started getting on the microphone, I ended up being the commentator of the Gulf Coast. And then I started going region to region, state to state, battling with the microphone and commentating and, doing balls and battling with the chanting, back and forth and everything. Okay. And I became a commentator. You fast forward all the way till 2021, I became legendary. Gotcha. I became legendary in the mainstream ballroom for commentator, realness with a twist, and executive realness. And I was, acknowledged by a pioneer icon of the scene that's been out since the 70s. And he was the founder of my house. And that was Larry Ebony, and he lives in Fort Worth, actually. Okay. But he's from New York, original founder of the House of Ebony. And they go back to 1978, 778 Hancock Street in Bedford-Stuyvesant, New York, So once he made me legendary, that's how I got legendary on the mainstream. What we do here is the Kiki scene. Okay. Kiki scene, different from the mainstream. Like I've told people before, we all know about the AIDS epidemic. Yes. Back in the 80s.
Absolutely.
And like my father told me, they were losing people by the month. They was losing them at, so a lot of people wasn't surviving on the ballroom scene. Yeah. These were kids that came out at 18, 17, 16, and they were starting houses. This is what they did to get away from society, right? Yes. Yes. Now, you fast forward to medicine, pharmaceuticals and everything, and we start finding ways to suppress. It's no longer a death sentence. Yes. People are living longer in the ballroom scene. Now that these people are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, the kids don't like what they did in the past. So they start calling us the bitter old people, and they want to do new things, and we're being too hard on them and all this kind of stuff. So, that's when they started doing Kiki balls. Not always all the kids, but it started off like, I walk this on the real scene, but I'm gonna go have a Kiki ball. I'm gonna walk something else, and either I'm gonna make you laugh or either I'm gonna make you gag. Like, I didn't know you could do that. Wow. And then, as it went along, it became a scene, and now some of these kids actually utilize their talents, and it's like a starting point to get to the mainstream. They'll go to Kiki scene and do their thing, and then if they feel like they got it, and I'm like, oh, you really can do this. This is not a Kiki for you, Take it to the mainstream, and then they, start winning there. So Kiki scene has now became like a junior varsity to the mainstream, or like a gateway or a starting point to the mainstream with a younger generation, So, and I started it in the Gulf Coast, to be exact. And when they kept calling me legendary, I went on and I accepted it. I accepted the legendary status, and then last year around Mardi Gras time, they made me icon. They was like, no, you're an icon, because we couldn't do none of this had you not created it, had you not taught these kids and developed them and everything. And like I tell everybody all the time, I'm just doing what I love to do. Yeah. I like to see them smiling and, developing, finding something, a way to express themselves. Because when all of this is over with, even when they leave here and everything, they all have real lives. Some of them may be homeless. Some of them may need education. Some of them have HIV, Some of them have, it's all kind of stuff. And guess what? When these people at United Black Ellument clock out, they don't clock out. They don't really ever clock out. Yeah. They get the 2 o'clock in the morning phone calls, the 3 o'clock in the morning phone calls of, I don't know what to do, or I know it's kind of changed since the 80s with, families disowning you and everything, but it's still that going around. And so you have a J-Rock, a Deshaun, somebody to say, well, I love you. And you're going to finish high school. And you're going to go to college, or you're going to get a job, military and stuff like that, So these are real lives that are being impacted by just coming here on a Friday, meeting me, meeting Jelinski, meeting UBE, finding resources, finding jobs, finding ways to take care of themselves and have financial stability, health, a better health. And if they are positive, living a positive life and not feeling like it's a death sentence, so.
That's amazing. You say if they are positive, live
a positive life. Why are you positive living a negative life?
Yeah.
I never understood that. If you're positive, then live a positive life. Yeah. Take it, keep going up, keep elevating. You see what I'm saying? Because it's not a death sentence anymore. You're not a threat to anyone. Everyone else is a threat to you, so protect your space.
Yes.
So that's the way I look at it for them. You know what I'm saying? Live a positive life. Yeah. And they teach them this here at UBE, learning all your different ways and reclaiming your sexual health. Because it's so taboo and everything, but people are out here still not knowing what to do and dying for nothing when they can be living for something.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? So that's what we do here at UBE. It's more than just what people see when they see a ball and say, oh, they're having a good time at Marty's on Wednesday. Yeah. No, when those lights go off and everybody leaves the club, it's real lives happening.
Yeah.
And it takes real people and real soldiers like the United Black Element and these coordinators here to go above and beyond and go out in those streets like foot soldiers and do what they do.
Yeah.
And I tell a lot of people that have LGBTQIA plus children, they come to me a lot. And I tell them, I say, you know what the most important thing for you to do is love them.
Yeah.
Don't worry about their gender identity or who they are like in their head and stuff like this. Love them. If they know that without a shadow of a doubt, while I'm trying to figure myself out, whatever route I go, I know my mom has me. I know my dad has my back. Don't worry about their gender. Worry, okay, I see that this is what you're saying, but what are you doing about math? What are you doing about social studies? How about science? Did you clean your room?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about all of that because you're mine and I love you. And no matter what, I'm going to be behind you, whatever you be. I tell them that because I say you can be the determining factor of who your child go to when they leave the house.
Yes.
If you shun them, they may not come to a J-Rock.
Yeah.
They may go to someone else that may not be good for their lives. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's important to have that father figure and that mother figure out there, especially someone with a good head on their shoulders, got their head on a swivel, and it is about the young adult. Because they come in, it's teenagers sometimes, but a lot of them come in after 18, but if they haven't had that guidance and they don't feel like they had that love from their parents, listen, well, I'm your father, okay? Yes. And sometimes I be like, I ain't no more kids for me, right? But you just can't.
You can't.
When somebody when somebody is like gravitates towards you and you can just tell them one thing and they get it. Yeah. And then a chief, you know what I'm saying? I can't just let someone that needs guidance and they're looking to me for guidance, I can't just let them fall by the wayside. It's time for me to buckle back down and do it. And now I'm starting to train my kids how to be parents.
Wow.
So now they call me grands.
Gotcha.
Because and I spoil them. I tell them to give their parents hell like their parents gave me, so. But I teach them how to be better parents on the scene. I try to hold the leaders accountable, even at a ball. We can be at a ball, and I'm not ashamed to say it. We can be at a ball, and if Gilead is talking about the latest and greatest in HIV medication and all this kind of stuff, and I hear a bunch of talking, I will completely shut the ball down, silence everyone, and I will charge each parent to take control of their houses and listen to this information because you never know who's going to need it. That's how I am. Like you saw they were laughing when I was like, okay, well, get on out here. And they was like, whatever. I'm really their dad. They really treat me like their dad. They've lived in my house. I've woke up to make sure that breakfast was made before I leave out and go to work and ask them when I get back, what have you done today? Oh, well, I went to school, I did this. Well, I looked for a job today. So this is real life situations. Now, if I had not been there, I could have been the one that's saying, here goes these drugs. Here goes this fast life. Here goes this. So it's very important that parents that have children love your children to the point to where they're not going to go look for love in the wrong places. They can go look for mentors that's like, but I don't need your love. I got love at home. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yes. My mom loves me. She may not agree with my lifestyle, but she loves me. Yeah. Because let's face it, we're not, even if we have our own children, we don't agree with everything that our children do.
Yes.
But if you take ownership of that child, then, I think they'll be a better person. So parenting is very important.
Okay. Question down. No more questions. I got
Okay.
one more for you.
Okay.
Heart to heart. Why do you do what you do?
Why do I do what I do? I always told people that everything that people think is corny and lame is things that I hold dear to my heart. Like, who you are is what you do when nobody's looking.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, when nobody's looking, what I'm doing is laying in my bed at night, wondering, did someone eat? Wondering, do someone have a place to stay? Wondering, is somebody out there dying because they don't know how to take care of their status? Wondering, is somebody out here on drugs because they fell into the wrong hands? That's what I'm doing when nobody's looking. So even if I get upset at them, even if it becomes stressful at times, I still want to help people, and that's just me. I can't help it. I've always been the good guy. I've had my flaws. I'm not perfect, but good works for me. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't be the bad guy. It never works. I always get caught every time. I'm going to jail if I do anything bad. It just works for me, and I really have a heart for humanity. You know, even the people that, and it's crazy, even the people that hate us. I always feel like that it's a way that you can peel back that onion and get some understanding, because the DNA of America is hate.
Yes.
And they don't want to try to understand us. And right now, LGBT community is going through the same thing that black people was going through back in the 60s, the 50s, and everything.
Yeah.
They're not even trying to seek to understand us. So since y'all got that going on out there, at least y'all got somebody that'll stand in the gap for you. Maybe they'll listen to me. Maybe they don't look down on me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe you're a little too flaming for them, but that's my child,
Yeah.
and you will respect them. And that's courage to me,
Yes.
to be able to live your life loud,
Yes.
and you're gonna respect it. And that's why I stayed in the military 21 years. Nobody can question anything that I do. And to make Chief Petty Officer in the Navy, that means that I did something that's a milestone.
Yes.
So you can't question me. I know how to step in the room with the dignitaries, the superintendents, the presidents, and all this, and speak their lingo. So if I can do it, then you're gonna respect me, and you're gonna respect what comes from me.
Yeah.
So that's why I do it.
Man, listen, you got me in tears. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for your authentic spirit. Thank you for the sacrifices and the challenges that you always seem to rise to occasion to do. Thank you for fathering and keeping our community safe and on the right path. I applaud you. I salute you for all that you do, man. And I'm giving you a hug. I mean, both of us are love. Both of us.
United Black Ellument is an empowerment program that serves to create and foster open and honest conversations with our community. We're here to help young Black same-gender loving men fulfill their greatest potential for good. And so we provide resources, we help identify things that the community needs, and we try and, if we can't make it happen ourselves, we figure out who is a community partner that we're able to work with that can provide better resources and better opportunities for our community, for young Black same-gender loving men to be able to uplift themselves and create a better world for themselves. So Vogue Academy happens right here at Resource Center at 5750 Cedar Springs every Friday night from 7 to 10 p.m. And sometimes it goes a little later than that. It depends on how excited the people are. We oftentimes go live as well, so if you're not able to come in person, you can Vogue down right in the middle of your bedroom if you just turn on the live and listen to the commentators or listen to the people that might be giving a lesson. And all of that is hosted by UB. It's not just one house. It's an opportunity for all of the people in the community, whether you're a part of a big house, a small house. If you're not associated with a house at all, you are a part of our community, a part of our UB family. And you get to just come and have a great time here at UB.
Thank you for celebrating life, love, and laughter with us on today. Don't forget to pick up your latest editions of Dallas Voice on newsstands now. From the local scene to your digital screen, I'm your host, Corry Williams. Thank you for watching.